couple of times today at least that the ranch or Rancho Arroyo Seco is or was federally mandated to reclaim and clean up old mining sites that they, to a certain extent, inherited upon purchase of the property. Is that the case?
That's not the case. What's required right now under modern standards, and I believe that Mr. Swift, acting pursuant to those standards, is that every mine has to have a reclamation plan that meets not only minimum state standards set by the Department of Conservation, but also your own county standards. And that was done in this case for this quarry. And so the reclamation will proceed pursuant to a detailed reclamation plan that's in the planning documents before you.
And usually a bond.
And always a bond. requirement for a bond.
But the county, as lead agency, is usually the holder of that bond and is required to effect that reclamation via the bond mechanism if the mining operation fails to do so.
Right, it's held by both the State Department of Conservation and the county simultaneously, and it's reviewed and updated every year.
So there'll be an escalation, monetary escalation in that on a yearly basis based on what cost of living or?
Yeah, based on two things: the amount of land disturbed, and then the actual cost to do the reclamation work as described in the rec plan.
What I'm looking at is the cost today is going to be different from 50 years, 60 years down the road.
Right, it's updated every year, and they're required to use the most current manuals for the cost of construction equipment and construction activities.
Engineering index, CPI index, that
right.
thing. Mm-hmm. I think what you're probably used to, John, there's somewhat over 300 gold mines, among other things, in the county that from the gold rush days that were not reclamated, that are sitting abandoned, and that's where the real problem is.
Right, and I guess my follow-up would be: were there reclamation bonds on the Rancho Arroyo Seco property that helped cover or defray the costs that the ranch went through to reclaim those sites?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't believe there was a bond on the on those sites because they were historic.
Tom, could you get up and speak into the mic? I'm sorry. That way everybody can hear.
And it's also recorded.
Tom Swift for Newman Minerals. So